What's your name?
John. Yeah,
John what?
John Whiteman.
John Whiteman.
Yeah,
From around here?
You're allowed to commercialise, eh? Yeah, I'm a Manly boy, yeah.
Yeah? Always been, always will be?
Colorado Manly.
Yeah? What are you doing today? What's the big news today?
I work in the soup kitchen around the corner for the poor people.
Yeah? Tell us about that.
Well, there's a lot of people here that live on in the parks, in the beaches, around the summer sheds, mainly around the summer sheds at the moment. And we get about 12 to 30 in our little church soup kitchen. And that keeps them viable. That's about all they've got.
Why do you do this?
Because God wants me to, or asked me to, or because I want to.
Yeah? Have you been doing it for a while?
Only about 12 months.
And is it like a full-time job?
No. They're all volunteers.
Right. Different
volunteers each day. Yeah. I'm just a washer-upper.
You're a washer-upper? What do you mean, just a washer-upper?
Well, I'm not a fully-fledged paid-up member. I just wash the dishes.
Right. And then what do you do the rest of the time?
The rest of my day, I've got a nice garden at home, and apart from that, I go over to McDonald's on the wharf and sort of hope that somebody needs the Lord.
Somebody needs?
The Lord.
The Lord.
Yeah.
So, what do you call yourself? An evangelist?
I retired 2 years ago, and that's what I wanted to do, an evangelist.
What were you doing before you retired?
I was a detective. A detective.
A detective? Where?
I worked up the cross,
Yeah?
So I was so bad then, I'm trying to get good again now.
Is that really it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? That would have been fairly stressful, especially at the cross.
Very stressful. That's for all the fellas that I see get into trouble, I think, well, if only people knew what they went through.
Yeah.
It is very poor, it's very bad.
Yeah. And you?
So, up there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I had a hard time.
Yeah? How long were you there?
6 years.
That's a long time.
I was 15 years a detective. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Did you do anything that you regret?
No.
No. So you left with a clean conscience, at least?
I left more than that. I've been left with a compassion for the people that I knew then.
Is there something that bothers you from things that you've done?
No.
Or have you solved all those? You have no demons left?
I'm only a man.
Yeah.
You can't hold it. As I said, if you worked at the cross, if you took all the detectives out of the cross, and I'm not knocking them, if you took them all out and replaced them with the Navy, the Army, the Air Force, whatever, they'd all be corrupt in 6 months. Couldn't possibly not be. So how can you say that?
Why is that because of the temptation?
Yeah. Such easy temptation.
Yeah. To all the weaknesses of the flesh, you can imagine.
That's right. That's right. You've read the book. It's a fact. You can't resist that corruption. My daughter, who nobody knows, so it's all right to quote her, when a mate of mine got into trouble here, a detective superintendent, I told her, and she said, "Dad, it's pretty hard to say no to money."
Yeah. Did you take money?
Didn't answer that, did I? I just went, yeah.
But in a situation like that, when you can see that there is nothing that you can do about it, does it bother you now?
No. No, it doesn't bother me at all. I haven't got a conscience. That's what you're getting. No way. And I'm not saying, well, if I didn't, somebody else would have. That's not the story at all. No. It's just inevitable. You couldn't say no. You couldn't not do it.
What do you get most satisfaction out of now? The soup kitchen and
just helping people.
And how often do you go there?
Every day. Every single day.
So this is your life.
Yeah, I go to the soup kitchen now for about 2-3 hours, and I go straight to there. And that's not making me a big fella. I'm just saying what I do.
But that's what you do, and that's what you're putting back. Can I ask, how old are you?
62.
So you retired at 60, which is the standard age, right? And you married?
No, I'm divorced.
You're divorced.
Isn't everyone?
Nearly. How long have you been divorced?
A long time.
Long time. You didn't ever think of getting married again?
No way, no. And not that I didn't enjoy marriage.
Yeah.
It was great. I've got 3 daughters.
Yeah. Why did you get divorced? Was it work related?
I came home and there was no one there to wash the dishes, and I got very upset. No one came the next day or the next day. No, my wife just walked out. She'd had enough.
Of you? Why?
Oh, the police force had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
It wasn't everything, but it had a lot to do with it. Hours and drinking. Haven't drunk since.
You haven't drunk since you left, or since?
Oh no. Yeah, since the fourth, which was the same time.
Oh, was it? Big change.
Yeah,
All
it's a
in one
big
go.
change. Yeah, yeah.
Big
I
change.
still haven't got it all together. I'm not, you know, I'm not. He said none of us are perfect, and I'm certainly not.
What's ahead?
What's ahead?
Do you look ahead? Do you think, okay, well, next couple of years this, and then after that
Yeah,
something
well,
else?
I'm going to stay this age forever. That's one thing. It's a great age. I mean, I think we're outnumbered by women by about 5 to 1 for a start.
I see.
And they're all divorced. Oh yeah, no, it's pretty good. It's really good.
He's gone shopping. Done shopping?
I've done my shopping.
For the day, for the week, for the month?
For the day.
For the day. You do shopping every day?
Nearly.
Do you?
Yes, I come into town every day to see my mailbox, check my mailbox, so I do my shopping.
So you do small amounts of shopping
Daily.
daily?
Almost daily.
Mm.
Probably 4 or 5 times a week because I don't have transport. And
Yes.
It's easier to manage on the bus.
What do you do?
I run a unique service
Mm.
called Land Base Australia, which is a mail forwarding and message service for travellers.
Who are overseas and...
International
Yes,
and
yes.
national, and recently started this service about 8 months ago with the help of a niece allowance. Have you heard of that?
No.
It's new enterprise incentive scheme run by the CES, I believe, and through the federal government, where if you're on a some sort of dole, or I was on a widow's allowance myself, and they agreed to pay you for 1 year the equivalent of what you were getting for 1 year, which will help you establish a business.
Yeah.
It's working.
It's working.
Slowly, but
What gave you the idea?
well, I was a yachtie myself for 6 years. I travelled around the world on a yacht for 6 years, and I knew I had these incredible problems getting my mail while I was on the move. So when I became land-based, I decided to set up this business.
You actually lived for
6
extended-
years on the yacht, yeah, travelling around. We travelled around from here to Lord Howe Island, New Zealand, Tonga, Fiji, Vanuatu. Then we came back home to show the family, well, look, see, we did it. We came back and then we went through up over the top, Darwin, Gove, over the top to Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, and that's sort
And
of where
stopping
I stopped.
everywhere?
Oh yes, yes. My longest time at sea, I think, was about 18 days. And I suffered terribly from seasickness, so I had to take tablets all the time. But yeah, it's a marvellous life, and I do miss it.
Yeah.
But
Now, a couple of things you said that I have to ask you about.
Sure.
One of them, you said we.
yes, my husband and I, we've separated.
You separated, but then the other thing I was going to ask you is you said that before you got this grant to start the business,
I was on a widow's
On a widow's
allowance.
allowance.
It's very misleading, but that is what they call it. I think they should change the name. It's where you are married to a person who is of pensionable age, which I was, and you part. I was put onto this new allowance, which is called a widow's allowance, which in effect is not. I'm not a widow, but it means that I'm separated from someone and I'm entitled to a pension through the Social Security. And yes, it's very misleading, but that's what they call it, so there you
Yes.
are.
you spent 6 years?
Yes.
Literally.
Living on board and sailing
your
around the
husband?
world with my husband.
And
yes.
you separated right after that?
No, I separated a year ago on Sunday.
A year ago on Sunday?
Yes.
Some sort of an anniversary?
Oh, I'm very heart sore that my marriage broke down, and I believe it was because of small, limited space, nowhere to go, no doors to slam. You can't just jump in the dinghy or jump overboard or something.
Did it disintegrate? It sounded as though you were
It
saying
was
that...
wonderful the first 3 or 4 years, but the last 2 years became very difficult because we didn't move on. We stayed in Malaysia and travelled between Malaysia and Thailand extensively for a year and a half, and I think we fell into a rut, and my husband felt he didn't want to go on. He's a great deal older than myself, but very fit and healthy, and I think that he just fell into a rut, and I'm not ready to be in a rut or anchor and have an atoll be created underneath the boat and just me sit there. So I asked him if he'd like to come home with me, and he said no. I think he felt that his family and friends may have considered him a failure because we didn't complete the circumnavigation we set out to do, but we did so much together that it's a feat in itself what we did do. And unfortunately it's broken down, and but I'm getting on.
It broke down while you were still at sea, as it were.
Oh yes, we were in Malaysia, and the vessel is still in Malaysia, and he's still on the vessel, and we have no contact anymore. It's broken down absolutely irrevocably, and I'm very sad about it. I would still like to salvage the relationship because I love him still, and I very much want to be in a relationship, but I can't with him. I'm not looking for a relationship now. If that's what will happen, that will happen. But I live a very quiet life.
You say he's much older than you.
He'll be 70 in this year. Right. I'm 52.
Yeah. And had you been married for some time before that?
Oh, we were married for, well, we met in 1989, so it's a long time. Yeah, I was married to him for 6 years.
And was it your first marriage?
No. Don't ask me anymore. It's my third marriage.
Right. And his?
His second marriage.
Yeah. Was he in fact retired?
Yes, he was.
When you married?
Yeah. He had his own business, but he retired when I met him.
How did you meet him?
Is this going on air?
Yes.
I met him in a restaurant. He asked if he could share my table, and I said yes.
You were alone?
I was alone. I had a lunch break. I was working in Sydney at the time. And I think within a few days he asked me to dinner, and I said, no, I'll have lunch with you. It's more innocent. Yes. And we had lunch, and we were just together from then on. It was a very beautiful relationship. And I do think that living in a small and confined place and nowhere to go unfortunately destroyed that.
My name's Andrew. What's yours?
Ross.
Ross. What do you do?
Professional volunteer, basically.
Volunteer for anything?
Anything and everything, just about.
Yeah? What are you volunteering today?
Well, this afternoon I'm going to a function at the aquarium where I'm a volunteer down the road.
And what are you going to do there?
They've got a function on in the theaterette there, and I'll be helping, walking around and assisting.
Yeah.
But I'm also a volunteer there, and I do guiding there and all sorts of things like that.
What else?
Tourist information kiosk, which you've obviously just met.
Right.
And I do that every second week, a shift there every second week, and also for the National Trust once a month I'm a volunteer.
Why do you do this?
I'm a sanguine type person, and so I talk to anybody and everybody, and I like to hear other people's points of view and see what they have to say. I'm on a pension, so and for work situations mostly over the time, it's been too hard to look at full-time work, so I need to do something to get myself off the street. And so, yeah.
What's the pension for? What is it that you...
I have spina bifida.
And have had for...
It's an at-birth medical condition, which means that the vertebrae, or the bone protecting the spinal cord, when being set down, wasn't fully formed. So, and that happened around my waist, so from my waist down, I have paralysis.
Well, but you walk...
Yeah, I have enough muscle tone, but it's not total paralysis. And I have short leg calipers.
Yeah.
And the crutches.
And so you can look after yourself?
Yes, I live in a housing commission unit that is wheelchair ready for when I need to be in a wheelchair. And I've just moved into that 6 months ago. Right. And I live on my own and drive my car, which is around the corner.
Right. So you get around and you're self-sufficient.
Yes.
But you can't... It's not possible to do full-time work.
It probably is possible now, but financially it has been harder in the past. Yeah. So I have worked in office situations. Yes. On top of earning money on top of my pension. Yeah. But because of brain damage and difficulty of assimilating things quickly and going from one to the other, which you need in an office situation, they haven't been successful. So I haven't found anything that really suits what I do, and I get paid lots for it. I mean, all the voluntary stuff, if I was paid, it'd be quite a lot. Yeah. The reward I looked for was an emotional reward, but there are other rewards as well.
Have you been able to help other people?
Yes.
Emotionally?
Yes. Yeah. Because of my disability, a lot of people say, boy, Ross, you know, and in fact the other day someone said to me that I'm an inspiration to them. And recently, 5 years ago, I approached the local James Cook University, which has a nursing sciences department, and said, look, I have a disability that covers a wide range of things. Would you like me to talk to your nurses? So ever since then, for the last 5 years, for 50 minutes per year, I talk to the first year nurses and tell them what it's like to be me.
What about relationships? I mean, have you had long-term relationships?
What's that? To answer the question quickly, I've never had a girlfriend. I haven't had a base where people have rung me up and said, look, we're going up to the nearest waterhole, would you like to come? I've had lots of people. I can walk from one end of the mall to the other and say hello to all sorts of people, but very few of them will say, let's do this or let's do that. That's something that has been a bit painful, but it's life.
So you mean socialising in general?
Socialising in general has been tough. Yeah. I'd say it's because of my disability and because I look so different from norm.
People wouldn't invite you to their home, they wouldn't choose to socialise?
Well, because I'm so different. I'm talking about my peer group. They would probably find it hard to wonder, well, you know, can we take him there? You know, people thought that I probably couldn't do certain things, and then they didn't ask me, but they just probably thought I couldn't do certain things.
Do you, in fact, feel that you are different to the rest of, you know, the able-bodied society?
No. To answer that question, in the early or mid 80s, people were talking about the severely disabled of the community, and they talked about people with cerebral palsy, and I said, yeah, they're severely disabled. And people with Down syndrome, and I said to myself, yeah, they're severely disabled. And then quadriplegics, and I said to myself, yeah, they have a severe disability. And they said, people with spina bifida, which is what I have, and they said, and I said to myself, excuse me? Because I don't think of myself as somebody with a severe disability. But when you really look at tic and tacs, yes, I do have a severe disability. But
you don't see it that way.
I don't see it that way.
Can we talk to you? We're making a program called Front Up on SBS.
Oh, yeah?
Have you ever been interviewed for television before?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
Doing what?
On an arts program.
Yeah? You're an artist?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Painting.
Oil? Or
No, acrylic.
Acrylic?
Yeah, acrylic on linen.
And what brings you here to Darwin?
I live out of Humpty Doo.
All right.
Yeah.
Humpty Doo, yes, I've heard that expression I was going to say. But it's actually a place.
Yeah, no, it is. Well, originally I think it was called Umpty Doo, which was an Aboriginal name.
Yes.
And the transliteration from that by the pioneers, I would say,
Yes.
thought it sounded like Humpty Doo.
Yeah.
But it's,
What's your name?
Peter Adset.
Peter?
And Suzy.
Suzy?
Yeah, and Sophie.
And Sophie?
Yeah.
I suppose Sophie is yours.
Yeah, hope so.
How did you meet?
How did we meet?
Come and stand next to your husband, your friend, your partner.
No, we're married.
Are you married?
We're married for,
8 years.
nearly
We met
9
at a
years.
wedding. It's at
Somebody
a friend's
else's.
wedding, yeah.
You didn't catch the bouquet, did you? No.
No, Peter was, you were already married.
Yeah.
I was going out with somebody else. And I don't know, we just sort of got on, didn't we?
Yeah.
Just got on well. And just there was something there though, something special, I reckon.
Yeah, straight away.
Yeah. Because
yeah.
I was only, 19?
Yeah.
And you were
I was 26.
26?
Yeah.
And then we got married when I was, turning 21. Or 20, turning 21 the next
So
year.
how long did it take? I mean, you were already in a relationship, so how long did it take to...
Oh, well, that was sort
We
of...
did, eh? We
just secretly be...
hide behind park benches and up trees.
No, I think my relationship had come to an end anyway, and I think your
Mine
marriage
had,
come to an
Definitely.
end as well.
Had you
so-
actually separated?
No, not at that stage, no.
Did meeting Sophie? Did
Suzy.
meeting Suzy speed things up a bit there?
Yes and no. Yeah, no, I was sort of, my primarily thing was painting, and
Yes.
it always has been, and I just felt that in that relationship, it just wasn't a harmonious relationship for that, and so it was already ahead, sort of working towards that anyway.
What do you see in Peter? You know, what is it that?
What do I see?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why did you think it's sort of an instant something,
It was-
chemistry?
Yeah, like I think I remember going up to your place for dinner, and I was already in a relationship, and you'd showed us this this old cabinet, like it's an antique cabinet that you'd bought, and I thought, oh, I'd love to be married to a guy like that, like he just had taste.
Yes.
Well, that was one thing. That was one thing, but then it was just,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a chemistry thing, I think.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
a real, it's like when you meet people, like there's something that works.
Suzy is special because
Oh, everything.
everything.
No, it's just it's the honesty. And it was always her eyes. I remember seeing her and I was sitting down and she walked into the room and I thought, that's the person I should be married to. I couldn't believe it.
And you went about and did it.
That's what
Well, that's
happened.
pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Have you ever painted, Suzy?
Indirectly, my work. I relate, Suzy in my work quite a bit. A
Yeah.
lot of stuff that I do.
And where do you work? Do you work in a studio?
I work in the lounge room, I work in the kitchen, our whole house is a studio. You've got to come out and have a look. You've got to come to Humpty Doo. That's where you'll find it.
Where is it? How far is it out of
It's about 40 minutes drive from here.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's just fantastic. Yeah, we've got a billabong in front of the house and wetlands and a river. And
We can do that. We can come out.
Can you?
Oh,
Right
you'd
now.
love it, yeah.
You want to come out now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as you can.
Yeah.
We've got to check out and fly to Cairns this afternoon.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. We can make it.
Yeah. That's a great
Is the
place.
invitation real?
Yeah, come out and have a look. Oh, yeah.
When are you going back?
We're going back now.
Okay. We'll come
Gonna
out.
hop in the car.
We'll have
Is it hot for you?
It's warm. It's warm. Sophie's cute. Where do you come from? Where were you born?
In
bred?
Melbourne.
In Melbourne.
Yeah.
And was it sort of like a typical Melbourne suburban home? Was it?
Yeah, just Mount Waverley, which is
Yeah.
out in the suburbs, yeah.
You don't miss the city at all?
Oh, yeah, parts, yeah, sometimes I do. Yeah, things in the city. Just probably the cultural things, but then I think all the different cultures that are up here make up for that in another way.
Would you say that a normal, when I say normal, I mean,
What's
would
normal?
anyone, what is normal? Would anyone, do you think, be able to adapt?
I think the climate, like now, like it really tests you. I think, yeah, like I think the country up here is really harsh, and I think it pushes you to your limits. It's always building up, always sort of waiting for that rain. It's like when you get rain, it's just like you rejoice, like you run out there in the nude, it's great.
Both of you.
Yeah, and so, yeah. I know, because it's just like it builds up and up and up, and then it breaks, It's just like this. Yeah, no, it's like a celebration.
Show us around the place a bit. You're saying you've got a billabong and...
Oh, yeah. All right.
That's all I hear.
Sounds like a bit of thunder.
We swim here, and then there's a rainforest, and the headwaters of the Howard River begins over there, and that's still got really deep water in some of the water.
And how much of this is your land?
We got 32 acres. This goes another half a k down the road. So we're just in a real small corner here. There'd be probably a few pythons.
There's a few pythons down there. Watch out for the pythons.
This actually flows in the wet. It joins back up through. There's a wetland just through the back here, and it joins the river.
Yeah.
This was called From Humpty Doo to Ungaja, the Snakes and Ladders series. So this was all about stuff to do with Nunaja, an Aboriginal elder that I've known for a number of years, who invited me out to her country. And this is sort of looking at the shifting horizon line of the Australian landscape. These ones here were I had done a painting series before that called Bride's Wake, which was the wake of this land. This is our billabong here, that's the build-up. This is when the sun rises over the billabong. Mm-hmm. This is when the wind comes for the monsoon. This is the lightning. And it's the monsoon, the carrier of fertility. For me as a painter, it's trying to actually create that visual language which talks about this instead of trying to orally say it, you know, like, because I don't think the English language, our words haven't come from the land. We're Aboriginal language and Maori language have come from the land. Their language is part of that land, where ours isn't, so we have to find another language to talk about it if we want to live here.